All ready? Okay. So, Tejamananda Swamiji gives a very good introduction, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Just say a few words. In the publisher's note, in the second paragraph, I'm going to just read one sentence there. It says, "The teachings of the Lord, appearing as a swan, distinguishes the truth from the illusory world. This book analyzes the mind and teaches us how to conquer it and gain greater spiritual heights through the mind management." So, it is the mind which is really the Maya appearing as the mind which is screening me from the Bhagavan. And if that mind is controlled and made subjugated, then you get that realization. And so, just like in this 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan talks about various aspects of the three gunas arising from the Prakriti and elaborates on it in the 17th and 18th chapters. The first half of this book, also Lord Krishna is talking about those gunas. And its interesting thing is, let me show you this slide. In Bhagavad Gita and Uddhav Gita, in comparison. Bhagavad Gita is from Mahabharata and Uddhav Gita in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the student is Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita and Uddhava in Bhagavatam. And actually they are contemporaries. Bhagavad Gita is in the Lord's name. That means Bhagavan is the teacher and Arjuna is the student. But in Uddhav Gita, it has got the devotee's name. Though Bhagavan is the teacher, Uddhava is the student, the teaching is of the devotee, given to the devotee, name is given to the devotee. And Tejamananda Swami elsewhere says, in Ramavatara, Hanuman was left behind because he is still living, a Chiranjeevi, and in Krishnavatara, Uddhava was left behind to continue to spread this Bhagavad Bhakti. So, from according to Swamiji, Uddhava is supposed to be still living. What Uddhava means? Ut means above. What is above all is that Bhagavan, Purushottama Param Kinchito. And Dhanvaha means a Swami, the Lord. The one who considers Bhagavan as the Supreme is called Uddhava. So, we all can call ourselves Uddhava also. So, I don't want to continue to talk too much. So, we are going to read the introduction and we can stop in between and discuss that one. Akilama, you want to read the first three paragraphs, please? So, depending upon the size of the paragraphs, each one can read 1, 2, or 3 paragraphs. So, I'll leave it up to you.
Hariyam Raghuji. The basic scriptures of the Hindus are the Vedas or Shruti, the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda, and the Smritis, the Bhagavad Gita, Manu Smriti, and so on, the Itihasas, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and the Puranas, Vishnu Purana, Shiva Purana, and so on. The Puranas. Veda Vyasa composed the 18 Puranas. There is a lot of misunderstanding and confusion regarding them. Some consider them to be only imaginary and meaningless stories or myths written for entertainment or for lessons to be learned. For instance, some doubt the very existence of Sri Rama and Sri Krishna, believing them to be mythical figures. The word Purana means that which is ancient. Since the Puranas reveal the eternal truth, they are ancient and yet ever new. They are the means for that which was, is, and that which is will be possible to exist, Sambhava Pramana. The Vedas reveal the truth that already exists by removing the ignorance that veils it. Ajnana Nyapakam. The Puranas too do the same. Moreover, they also reveal that which is possible to exist, Sambhava.
Want to comment?
No, Raghuji.
So we all know what the Vedas are. Shruti. What that was heard by the great rishis in their deep state of meditation as revelations from the Supreme. And we all know that Veda Vyasaji compiled all of them together because of the fear that all this knowledge will be lost. And with his four students, main students, he compiled all of them and divided them into four Vedas and assigned each Veda to one of the students. And Smritis are those that are almost like a commentaries based on the Shruti derived by the various personages, the learned wise people. Example, Manusmriti. And even Bhagavad Gita is considered as a Smriti based on the Vedas, though it was given by Lord himself directly. But at the end of each chapter, you say that it is a Upanishad. So, Upanishad is a part of the Vedas. So, some people even look at Bhagavad Gita as an Upanishad, as a Shruti, because it came directly from the mouth of Lord Krishna. So, Ramayana, Mahabharata, we all know they call Itihasa. Itihasa, that's the way it happened. So, they are real like histories. But Puranas, like it says, Pura Ave Navaha. So, what we understand is Lord Vedavyasji, though he wrote the compiled the Vedas, and then he even wrote the what you call sutras. What do you call what kind of sutras? Brahma Sutras, which is considered like a hard nut to crack, and for mostly extremely intelligent analytical people. Then he wanted to give the same knowledge of the Vedas and the Brahma Sutras in an easier form through the Puranas. Though there is a mis, what do you call disagreement that these 18 Puranas not necessarily were written by Veda Vyaji, but traditional understanding is Veda Vyaji wrote 18 Puranas. And also there are other 18 Upapuranas also. And the last one is supposed to have right was said to be the Bhagavata Purana, because after writing all that, he seemed not happy. That so the Narad Maharshi told him to write, hey, you have written everything about this Karma Yoga and all the Dharma Shastras from the Vedas and the Gnana and all that, but you have not written enough about Bhakti. And so that's how the Bhagavad Purana is supposed to have come. So the Puranas give the same subject matter as it given in the Vedas, but in the form of stories and teachings for the common man to understand and follow. So as Swamiji beautifully says here, they are the means for that which was, is, and that will be possible to exist. And so, everything that really happened and is happening and can easily happen in the future. All those possibilities you see in the form of stories in Puranas. So we'll continue to read, we'll go further. Anjaneyulu sir, you want to continue?
Sure, Raghuji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Many scientific theories begin as hypotheses or propositions to be proved. They become discovered facts once they are experimented upon. In many cases, that which started as science fiction has become reality. Example: space travel, robots, etc.
Robots.
Some robots. Some technological advancements were mere imaginations or hopes in the past. A few examples are computers, clones, etc. Therefore, that which appears strange, meaningless, impossible, or fantastic may very much have been possible in the past or become possible in the future. The Puranas talk of that which was possible in the past and that which is in the present or may be possible in the future. In the Puranas, all is not in the realm of possibilities. It also has historical facts and symbolic or metaphorical stories. For example, the Puranjaya Upakhyanā in the Bhagavad Purana is a metaphorical story.
Want to comment?
Yeah, so some of the things what we and go through the Puranas, sometimes it may look strange, but after some time it may become a fact, or that may be or in the future also. For example, uh, Sanjaya explains to Dhritarashtra what is going on in the battlefield, like our remote sensing, in like a remote camera, what he sees from there in the Dhritarashtra's palace. So, some of them we can link. It is a fact at present. So, but in the when it was not discovered, the people, our ancestors would have thought it is a like a
Cock and
it
bull
may
story.
yeah so now it is a fact.
Yeah.
So similar, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we should not neglect them, poo-poo them, saying, "Oh, it's just a myth, imagination." Okay, no, it is not. Okay, and so we say that people used to travel in the vimanas before. We see vimanas now. Okay, we are able to do it, but then the what do you call the I don't know about the air pollution and all those things about them, and they were supposed to be capable of expanding and shrinking to the needs and all that. And so we might say, oh, this is impossible, but it can become possible in the future, even in our life. So, so we should pay attention to what is there in the Puranas and learn from them. Now, the next half of this page talks about how the Puranas are divided, what subject matter is there in the Puranas. So you will read that one. And is Ashwin here today? No? Okay. Is Nuligaru here? No? Okay.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Oh, Nuligaru, go ahead, sir. Read those 5 items.
Yes, okay. Generally, the Puranas deal with the following 5 topics. Sarga, creation of the fundamental elements. Pratisarga, special or specific creation from these elements. Manvantara, Manu could be called as minister of Dharma, whose job is to establish Dharma in creation. This happens through various incarnations devotees, and their teachings. A manvantara describes the term of the rule of various manus. Vamsa, the description of various dynastic orders like Surya, Surya Vamsa, and Chandra Vamsa. Vamsanucharita. Vamsanucharita. The lives and deeds of various rulers and sages who appeared in these dynasties.
Yeah. Want to comment?
No, you do that comment.
Okay. I'm going to leave it at that because in the next page you will see more elaboration of the same thing. The 5 topics that are described. So I'm going to just say a few words on it, and then in the next page when we discuss, it will become more obvious. The all the it is called anytime you called it a Mahapurana, it's supposed to have 10 subject matters. That's what we are going to see in the next page in the Bhagavad Purana, because it is a Mahapurana. But in the what you call Upapuranas, they usually have only about 5 subject matters. The Sarga, Pratisarga, Manvantara, Vamshanucharita, and Vamsha. Okay. But one thing is, all these things might not be there in that order, like a first chapter Sarga, second chapter Pratisarga, and then Manvantara, like that. They are all mixed up. Okay. But that is the subject matter that you will see in any Purana. And in Mahapurana, there is more elaboration, as it is in Bhagavad Purana, we will see later. Okay. And Mano Naidu, you want to read, Amma?
Karpagam is there. You want to ask her to read?
Where did I leave her? Okay. Karpagam was not in my list. I think she was not attending the Monday classes. She was attending only the Tuesday classes. So I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Karpagam, want to read, Amma?
Sure.
I have to change my list.
Bhagavata Prana. It is the most popular of the Pranas and has 18,000 verses. It is called a Mahaprana, not because of its size. Padma Prana is more voluminous, but because of its content and popularity. When Lord Sri Krishna was to end his sport on this earth, the people were very sad. The Lord consoled them by infusing his power into the Bhagavata Prana, which would be ever available to all. Hence, it is considered as the very form of the Lord. Vanamaya Murti. Being the form of the Lord, it also reveals the Lord, and hence it's called Bhagavata. One who goes through a medical college is expected to emerge as a doctor. Similarly, one who studies the Bhagavata is expected to become a devotee. Bhagavata.
Right. Want to comment?
You go ahead.
So, you can say, so after talking a little bit about the Puranas, Guruji is coming to the subject matter, Bhagavad Purana. Bhagavad Purana is one of the 18 Mahapuranas. And even in the Puranas, they are divided in just by the names into Shiva Puranas, Vaishnava Puranas, and Ganapati Purana, and I think Shaurya, I think, like that, depending upon what name is considered as the supreme Brahman. Even Brahma, the creator, couple of the Puranas are in the name of Brahmaji himself, like that. But here, this is considered a Vaishnava Purana, and for some reason, this Purana is more famous than all the other Puranas. And it is said that Lord Krishna, at the end of his life, when he was leaving this world, going back to Vaikuntha, is to help the people. He is supposed to have induced his power into this Bhagavad Purana, so that those who study it with devotion, not just worship it like a murti, but study it and practice those teachings, they will, that Bhagavad Purana will take you to become one with the Lord. Now, what are the various subject matters that are present in this Bhagavad Purana? This can be said to be same in all the other Mahapuranas also. So, first two he mentions Adhikari and Sadhana, and then he talks about the other 10 also. So we will see that one. Is anybody else before Mano Naidu? No. Mano Naidu, you want to go out and read up to the all the 10
Okay. The Bhagavata Purana has 12 cantos. The first two are Adhikari. It describes the qualifications of the student for the knowledge of the Bhagavata through the story of Parikshit, the grandson of Arjuna. Sadhana talks of the means to be adopted to purify oneself. The remaining 10 cantos are 1 Sarga, describes the creation of the fundamental elements, Tattva Srishti. Second one is Visarga, is the special or specific creations made from the fundamental elements. Third one is Sthanam, describes the Lord as the very place of abundance of the creation. Fourth one is Poshanam, shows us how the Lord nourishes his creation through his grace. Fifth one is Yutaha, Yutayaha. Utayaha explains the inner compulsions or inherent tendencies, karmavasana, in man that lead him to rebirth and suffering. Sixth one is Manvantara, describes the term of rule of Manu. 7. Isanukatha, describes the various glories of the Lord and his devotees through stories. 8. Nirodha, describes the process of dissolution. 9. Muktihi, gives knowledge that leads to liberation. 10. Ashrayaha, describes the Lord as the truth, the very substratum of the creation, the very refuge of all, the essence of all knowledge, and the goal of all beings. This truth is variously called Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and so on. The purpose of the previous cantos is to understand this essential nature of the Lord. It's pretty much everyone is self-explanatory, and they are really telling us what the meanings of those things are.
Yeah. Thank you, Amma. So we'll to go through it a little bit here. Notes. So all the Puranas are supposed to have the 11 characteristics, but here mainly 10. The Sarga, the primary creation. So from the Purusha and Prakriti, the various three gunas, from the three gunas arise the, what do you call, the five elements, the pranas, the, what do you call, ahankara, the mana, buddhi, and all that. Visarga, the process of further creation, evolution of beings and objects. Why? From the combination of all this, from the sarga, the names and forms are created. That is the various creation of the various creatures. How did it happen? It is through the creation by the Brahmaji. Through his mind, that he creates the various, what do you call, the Saptarishis and all that, and from the Saptarishis, the various beings are created. And then comes the sthana, or position or sustenance. So after creation, there should be the sustenance of the world, maintenance of the universe of beings in proper order. And then the poshana, protection or nourishment for the various devotees. How? Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya duskrutam. So that's one thing that we have to remember. Bhagavan is the one who is protecting. So all the stories like the Prahlada story or Gajendra Moksha story, all of them are considered under the Poshana. And uti, the desire or impulse for action, the causes that impel being to act based on the previous karmas and divine will. So all this is not a imaginary thing, it is a fact and is described in the Puranas. And each one lifetime of the Brahmaji is said to be 1,000 one day of Brahmaji is said to be 1,000 Mahayugas. And in this 1,000 Mahayugas, 14 Manus come and rule. So if you divide 1,000 by 14, it comes to 71 and odd Mahayugas. So each Mahayuga is given a different name, and this Manu rules those 71 Mahayugas. And we are supposed to be in the 7th Mahayuga right now, so called
Vaivasvata Manvantara.
Correct. Thank you. So, and then Ishanukata, various avatars of the Lord. The Dashavataras that we see in Bhagavata Purana. Same way, in the Shiva Purana, all the Shiva's various incarnations are given. Nirodha, that is dissolution of this world. That's also described in the Puranas. You might not see it in the Vedas, but you see more elaborate description in the Puranas. Then Mukta or Mukti or liberation. So you can say how what the Upanishads talk about is talked in the Purana also for the devotee. So the form of devotion, how he can become one with the Bhagavan. And Ashraya, which is the ultimate goal, which is the support of this universe, that is Brahman, called by different names. You can call it Vishnu or Brahma or Shiva or Ganapati, whatever the name you want to give, that is fine. And a combination of all these things is said to be the 11th also. So all the subjects are there. So those of us, I don't know who all are here, who studied Bhagavatam in the previous few years, know about all these details about it. So, in Bhagavatam, there are 12 cantos. And 10th and 11th cantos are the biggest portion of the Bhagavatam and is dedicated to the story of Lord Krishna. And the whole story of Lord Krishna from birth up to almost near the end is in the 10th chapter. And that is said to be the heart of the whole Purana Bhagavatam. And in the 11th chapter is actually, you can be considered as the Gnanakanda. And it's mainly the teaching of Lord Krishna to Uddhava and others. So we will see that one. Let us read what Guruji says. And Maya, you want to read them? The next three paragraphs.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
11th canto, Mukti Skandha. The 10th canto elaborately describes the sports of Sri Krishna. It is considered by devotees as the very soul of the scripture. However, the 11th canto has its own unique place of importance. It gives great knowledge by which man attains liberation. Liberation is defined here as renouncing the false or mistaken identity about oneself and abiding in one's true nature. It is wonder that we suffer. We think ourselves to be finite entities when we are the infinite truth. Thinking thus, it would be a surprise if we did not suffer. Knowledge of the truth alone can therefore liberate us from this bondage of ignorance. This canto being predominantly knowledge oriented is considered difficult by some. It has famous stories like Navayogi, Upakhyan, and so on. The great saint Eknath has written a beautiful commentary called Eknath Bhagavat on this chapter alone. Actually, it's explained all by itself. Maybe Raghuji, if you can give more as
yeah. So just like I said before, the 10th chapter describes the whole Leelas of Bhagavan Krishna. So all our knowledge about the life of Lord Krishna comes from the Bhagavatam, the 10th chapter. And but the 11th chapter is the most important one that helps a person to get liberation. So it is how a person should live a dharmic life, okay, how he should be devoted to Bhagavan. All those things are described in various aspects in the first 10 chapters. And then after one has purified his mind, okay, how he can get liberated, how he can realize his real nature as one with Bhagavan, that is beautifully given in the 11th canto. So what is liberation? Liberation from the bondage, false idea that we are this body and this world is real and world is different from me. So just like when we go to a movie, if it's a very sad story, or if it is a lot of shooting and all that, okay, we get identify with the characters and then we get scared when there is shooting and all that, or when the heroine is suffering, that we start crying and identify with the heroes and heroine. The same way here, that we have identified ourselves with our body, mind, the intellect as the I am, and that is the cause for suffering. And once I realize it is not me, then there is no more suffering. So just like the examples that are given, somebody came and said, hey, your son had an accident and he died. And then suddenly you start crying and crying and crying and crying. And then suddenly another person comes and says, oh, it was not your son, it was a mistaken identity, somebody else died. Suddenly you are completely happy. A person has died, but only when you are identified with that person, then you become happy or sad. But when you are not identified with that person, it doesn't. It's the same way, if I don't identify with this body, mind, and the intellect, and look at what is happening to this BMI with the what you call unbiased vision, then you do not suffer. So, so now comes the what is called the Uddhav Gita. And let's go ahead and read that one, the next 3 paragraphs, and then I will elaborate on it. Let us see who is going to read. Nag, you want to read, sir?
Hari Om, sir. Dialogue between Sri Krishna and Uddhava. Sri Krishna was preparing for his departure from this earth. Uddhava, his great devotee and friend, was distraught at the very thought of living without Sri Krishna. Filled with great sorrow, he approached Sri Krishna and pleaded with him not to leave. The Lord gave knowledge to Uddhava, advised him to abide in it and spread it to others. This dialogue between Sri Krishna and Uddhava is called Uddhava Gita, which is part of the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavata. The Lord incarnates to establish Dharma. He does this through his life and deeds, and also by imparting knowledge. He taught Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and we therefore now have it in the form of the immortal Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge is the very foundation of Dharma. Therefore, in the Gita, the Lord praises spiritual knowledge as the king of all forms of knowledge, the royal secret, holy, great, that which can be directly experienced, the foundation of Dharma, which is easily grasped by noble souls and imperishable.
Comment?
No, sir. Thanks.
Okay. So, at least we know about what Swamiji is saying about the Arjuna. Arjuna got disillusioned and got deluded when he saw all his relatives on the Kurukshetra war, particularly the grandfather and his own teacher. And that's when Bhagavan had to give him the knowledge about what is your real identity and how to look at it and how to realize that your identity. And the same thing happened to Uddhava. So just like I showed the little differences in the between the Uddhava Gita and Bhagavad Gita, one other thing that I myself as what do you call thinking is Arjuna. If you look at his gunas, he was more rajasic and then sattvic. He had that Kshatriya blood of action. But Uddhava has always been from his childhood a great devotee of Bhagavan. And so he was more of a sattvic kind. So that's why you see in the Uddhava Gita, you don't see much about the Karma Yoga, that what one has to do, his duties and all that. He gets a direct knowledge from Bhagavan. Let me go back here and show this slide. Okay. Okay, the 11th canto has 31 chapters. Uddhava Gita is in the 23 chapters, from the 7th up to the 29th. The 7th 8th and 9th chapters is called the Avadhuta Gita. So many of us might have heard about it, that King Yadu in a forest sees a naked person almost like intoxicated, but intoxicated from this realization. And so Yadu asks him the question, how is it that you are so blissful and happy? And how did you achieve it? And so he gives 21 aspects of nature as his gurus, how one can learn from the world the various character virtues and realize it. And then chapter 10 of this Uddhav Gita talks about limitations of the Vedic ritualism, that is, various rituals that we perform for worldly and heavenly gain, otherworldly gains. Its limitation is you do not get realized, they only help you to enjoy this world and the otherworldly life. And then what is bondage? What is freedom? In the 11th chapter. And 12th chapter talks about holy association or satsang, the importance of satsang and the benefits of satsang. 13th chapter of the Uddhav Gita talks about the song of the swan, that is Hamsa Gita. That is the one that we are going to be studying. And then the 14th chapter talked about bhakti as the supreme means for spiritual fulfillment. So you can say that Upanishad talks about the Gnanam as the supreme means, but here Bhakti is talked as the supreme means. So Bhakta becomes a Gnani, and the Gnani also becomes a Bhakta at the end. So Gnani is a Bhakta, so this at the ultimately, and Bhakta is a Gnani, and there's no difference. And then 15th chapter talks about the various siddhis and powers that the people can get from various sadhanas. And then 16th chapter talks about manifestation of the divine glory. And then 17th and 18th chapters talks about the varnashram dharma. And then 19th chapter talks about the spiritual goal. And 20th chapter talks about bhakti, gnana, and karma yogas also. 21 talks about the sphere of virtue and vice. 22nd chapter talks about unaffected Atman, which is beyond the Prakriti. And then 23rd chapter talks about the song of the mendicant called the Bhikshu Gita. And that also, that Tejamananda Swamiji has written a commentary. There's a small book just like the Hamsa Gita, Bhikshu Gita in Chinmaya Mission. And then 24th chapter talks about philosophy of creation and dissolution. 25th chapter talks about gunas and freedom from them. Then becomes gunatita. 26th chapter talks about exhortation to avoid evil company. So we talked about satsang there in the earlier, but here the bad effects of evil company. And then 27th chapter talks devotional ritualism. Then 28th chapter talks about Gnana Yoga, and then concluding instructions to Uddhava. Lord Krishna gives instruction to Uddhava. Actually, what happened is, from what I understand, Uddhava came in contact with Lord Krishna when Lord Krishna came to the, what do you call, Mathura, at the invitation of the Kamsa. And after destroying Kamsa, then Uddhava became his devotee. And from what I understand, Uddhava is a great person. He actually was a student of Brihaspati. So you can say Brihaspati is said to be the guru of the gods, and how Uddhava was actually taught by the Brihaspati. And he always remained as a friend of Lord Krishna, as much as possible, staying in company of Lord Krishna. And it is said he used to eat only all the leftovers of Lord Krishna's food. That's how much devoted he was. But at the same time, Lord Krishna is supposed to have recognized the greatness and knowledge of Uddhava, and in Lord Krishna's court, Uddhava was like a minister. And Bhagavan used to ask his advice and follow his advice on certain subjects. So that was the kind of relation they had. And so he was already like a Gnani Purusha. And naturally, he knew near the end that, hey, Bhagavan is going to leave the body. And so he requests Bhagavan, Bhagavan, please take me with you to Vaikuntha. Bhagavan says, no, you have to stay here. So I'm going to give you the teaching. That's the Uddhav Gita that he gave. And then you go to Badrikashram and go and meditate there. And then go ahead and continue to teach the devotees. That's how the teaching has happened. So just like we give importance to Bhagavad Gita, to Uddhav Gita is also a great teaching, and is supposed to have about 1023 verses in the Uddhav Gita. And we are going to study a part of it, that is the Hamsa Gita. So, Reddigar, you want to read the next page, sir?
No, which you see?
The page 6, the Hamsa Gita.
Okay.
Yeah, page 6.
The paragraph, I think the first paragraph, second paragraph read, right? Only
Yeah.
third, last one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The essence of Sri Krishna's teaching to Uddhava is that all that is perceived by the senses and experienced by the mind is an appearance, an illusion, or a projection of the mind. Abide in the truth, which is the substratum of the world and the illuminator of all experiences. Remain ever steadfast in me alone. Okay, this is difficult for most of us because of our extroverted tendencies. We feel we will never overcome them. One who has suffered from fever for 15 days may feel that he will never regain his health and may get dejected and depressed. Remaining at the level of problem, we can never solve it completely. When we rise above the problem itself dissolves. A villager was overwhelmed by the skyscrapers and fast traffic in a metropolitan city. Therefore, when he was flying out of the city, he happened to glance out of the plane's window. From there, the skyscrapers looked tiny and the traffic slow. Similarly, the qualities of the mind, sattva, rajas, and tamas, or the inherent tendencies, vasanas, overwhelm us. We feel we will never be rid of their suffocating hold. The 13th chapter of this canto begins with the solution to our problem. It shows how we can rise above the limiting qualities and liberate ourselves in this. In this chapter, the Lord appears in the form of a swan, Hamsa, and expounds the teaching, and is therefore called Hamsa Gita.
Want to comment?
It says, of course, the whole world of creation is an illusion. What we see, what we hear with our senses, nothing is the truth. So the truth is the substratum of all that what we see, which is the illusory manifestation of the whole universe. So obviously, in order to realize the truth, you must sense that this is all illusion and that there is a truth behind, and that is what you are. And that is the knowledge you gain from studying the scriptures.
Right.
So in this chapter which we are discussing, the Lord came in the form of Hamsa, and then he expounded the knowledge of the scriptures, and that's called Hamsa Gita.
Right. Yeah.
Raghuji, I have a question. So, does this indicate, because you're talking about these are different kantas of Bhagavad Purana, so does this represent that life of Krishna was full of teaching, because life of Rama was to depict how one has to live this life? But so this avatar's role was to just do more of Upadesa, because in Bhagavad Gita, during the Mahabharata Yuddha, he does the teaching again. He wants to, even here, I think in his Bhagavad Purana again talks about his teaching philosophies, right? So does that mean his life was full of, that avatar's role was full of to do Upadesam?
Yes, just like Bhagavan says that he is born to protect the good and destroy the evil. Destroy the evil doesn't necessarily mean killing the people. Okay, destroying the evil in a person. Okay, then that person becomes a good person, sattvic person. Okay, and only if it cannot be done, just like in the case of Duryodhana and group, then unfortunately he had to destroy them. Correct. And as it is said, live like Rama, okay, but learn from what the teachings of Lord Krishna. Don't say that I'm going to live like Krishna, okay. that he really showed is the complete divine manifestation in the Krishna Avatara. And yes, if you purify yourself to an extent that you become realized, yes, we can live like Vivekananda, Chinmayananda, like various sages doing good to the world. But Bhagavan himself comes like Lord Krishna, okay? Then whatever the needs that he thinks that he needs to be achieved, he achieves. So that's why Tejamananda Swami is quoting from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam Pratyaksha Dharmyam Susukshmam Kartum Avyayam. It is extremely subtle and it is imperishable knowledge. And that dharma knowledge I'm going to give you. Same way in Hamsa Gita, Lord Krishna talks about the gunas, just like we learn in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about the various aspects of the gunas, and elaborated in the 17th and 18th chapters. Bhagavan in the first half of this book, he talks about the gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And then how to change from tamas to rajas and rajas to sattva. And even how to overcome even the sattva, attachment to sattva, by purifying oneself becomes pure sattva, and then that pure sattva is really that liberation. And then he says, I gave this knowledge of Brahman to Brahmaji and Sanat Kumaras once. And so, at that time, Uddhava asks Lord Krishna, oh, in what kind of form? I'm sure you did not give it like Krishna. I say, in what kind of form did you come to teach that knowledge to Brahmaji and the Sanat Kumaras? So at that time he says, I came in the form of a divine swan. I gave this knowledge. That's why it's called the Hamsa Gita. So we will see that one. So
I have a question, simple question for me. In any of these avatars, when they came to establish righteousness, they destroyed the evil people, never reformed them, interestingly. They destroyed whoever was doing unrighteous things and terrorizing the universe, whatever the way it is, but no reformation, no teaching, saying, okay, do this way, that, but boom, kill them out. It's interesting.
no, I don't think you should be looking at that. You can contradict me. Okay, take the example of Duryodhana. Okay, and he was given all the dharmic knowledge not just by Krishna. The various rishis and came and gave that knowledge, because all of them knew what was going to happen if Duryodhana doesn't change his mind. Okay, Vyasa Maharshi gave this knowledge, Vidura gave that knowledge, the Bhishma gave that consequences, and various Vaishampayana, many rishis also gave. Okay, so when one of the rishis, I think Vaishampayana rishis came and gave that advice, hey, avoid this war, don't do that, give this land back to what belongs to Pandavas. And at that time, the Duryodhana showed his thigh and slapped the thigh like this. And so, for that kind of arrogance, had to be punished. So that's why the Rishi cursed him, saying, then you will be destroyed by Bhima by hitting the thigh itself. So like that, so all the knowledge was given, all the counseling was given, but he never reformed.
I think the
Same way,
gunas played there, right?
Prahlada gave all that knowledge about devotion and the supreme knowledge to his father. But the father listened? No. And he continued to kill his own son. So that's why to protect him, he had to come and kill. So like that, if you look any avatars, it's the same thing, any situation. So even when he killed
I think
Shishupala, he had given a promise to his mother, okay? Is it Shishupala? I think, yes. That
Krishna.
if he
Krishna promised
criticizes
his
me,
Shishupala's mother. Krishna promised Shishupala's mother.
Yeah, right, mother, that I'm going to put up with this criticism of me 100 times. If he goes more than 100, I'm going to kill it. So that's exactly what happened. And Shishupala wouldn't stop. Okay.
I
And
think there
one
was
other
more
thing,
tamasic nature in all these cases, right, Raghuji? They were not becoming sattvic, so obviously that's why they had to be destroyed.
Say it again, Vishwa.
No, these were all natures of tamasic.
Yeah, right.
That's why it has to be destroyed.
Right. So, at the same time, if you go through the whole history, many of them, like you said, because of their rajasic and characteristics, many of them had to behave like that. They won't change. And they were actually had the boon of getting that physical form killed by Bhagavan himself, like Ravana, and with the Shishupala and the Kamsa, all those people. And so that is more complex.
Raghuji, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, the thing is, Reddy Garu, in case of Vamana and Bali, Bali was not killed. He was sent to Pataloka, and Vishnu said after he reformed, I'm going to be the guard of your Aramane, whatever it's called
Right,
in
right.
English, palace. So he stayed and became the guard of that. And going back to what Vishwa was saying, Vishwa, Srimad Bhagavad Purana is not just about Krishna, it is talks about all 24 avatars of Lord Vishnu.
Correct.
And here Hamsa is not Vishnu's avatar. Hamsa is not Krishna's avatar, it's Vishnu's avatar. Rama avatar is there in this Bhagavad Purana. Yeah.
Say it again. What about Hamsa?
Hari Om.
Hamsa is Vishnu.
Hamsa is a Vishnu's avatara, right? Is one of the
Right.
Vishnu's avatara.
Right.
Is not
All of them, all
Krishna
the
is
24
telling.
are Vishnu's avatars.
Yeah, but the thing is, when the question came, it's more like I felt it's more like, okay, whole Bhagavatam is about Krishna and Krishna alone. It's not. That's all I'm saying.
No. You are right. Okay. Only 10th chapter, 10th and 11th chapters give great prominence to Krishna avatara. Since 10th chapter is the biggest chapter, and many times you end up equating Bhagavatam to Krishna, but you are right. It is Vishnu's avatars. Correct.
Thanks, Vijay. Very.
Okay, so we will continue and start the. Actually, I thought we will at least start the first verse, but since we've gone 5 minutes beyond already, so we will start the chapter Trayodashodhyayah in the next class. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om. Okay, I want to see who are the new ones who are here. I see Sonal Shah and I see Karpagam and who is the other one? Uma.
There's somebody named Girija Vijay.
Girija Vijay, I know. Okay. She is from California.
Vijayji, I just want to correct it before you're getting go further on it. Mahabali is actually not sent to Patala. That's actually a kind of a misnomer. That story is a little bit different. He is actually sent to Sutala. That is and also he, he actually just got Vamana's padam on his head, right? It is actually the ultimate anugraha from a guru. Yeah. So he's actually sent it to Sutala, not actually Patala. That's actually a common stories, but that is actually not. That's not correct. It is actually they actually send it to as a what that because a reward for his devotion. That's how it works. That's the story. This Patala story is actually only in Kerala, right? So that's a Kerala story. Everyone actually repeats, and it becomes a story itself, and that becomes.
Yes. Umaji, what is your last name, Mama?
Golconda.
Golconda. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I couldn't recognize you in the picture, but now
I will put last name also.
Very good. Okay. Sounds good. Where is Girijaji? I don't see her.
She is there.
Oh, you're there. Okay. Very good. Hari Om. Girijaji used to be in Atlanta, and long time ago she moved to Las Vegas, and she's registering from Las Vegas. Nice seeing you, Amma. Hari Om.
I have known Gurudev since 1975.
1975.
Yes. That's when I met Gurudev in 75. And then 87, I stayed with him in Orlando, Florida for 10 days in the same home. And I sang for him.
See the lucky person, and we are lucky to know her. So when she was in Atlanta, I think she was president for Ekal Vidyalaya group, I think, right?
Yes. And then I opened the Ekal Vidyalaya chapter in Las Vegas also. And we are doing very well.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very glad to know, Amma. Very nice. Okay, so we'll meet again next Monday. Okay.
Thank you, Raghuji.
Dr. Raghuji.
Hari Om.
We'll talk to you after the session is finished.
You want me to call you?
Privately.
Okay, I'll call you.
Hari Om, Raghuji.
Hari Om, Raghuji. Hari Om, Raghuji.
Hari Om Raghu.
Everyone.
Hari
పూర్ణమద
Om.
చెప్పలేదు కదండి
ఏమే
పూర్ణమద
ఓ చెప్పలేదా
సెషన్ క్లోజ్ చేయండి
ఓం పూర్ణమద పూర్ణమిదం పూర్ణాత్ పూర్ణముదచ్యతే పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే ఓం శాంతి 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 హరి ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః హరి ఓం థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆల్ ఓకే హరి ఓం థ్యాంక్ యూ
Hari Om, Hari Om.
ఓకే I'll call you Reddy garu.
Yeah. Just to let you know that we will be moving to another state very shortly, maybe by the end of the month, most likely, and that will be Florida. So we were planning for a while, but you may have heard of that there will be a movement. But finally, we came to a conclusion that we must move for a variety of reasons. So we thank you. If you personally, if you are possible, we can meet you in Niketan, maybe you and Gita ji and Jyoti ji, if possible. But otherwise, just to let you know that we are moving.
We are going to be missing you.
Uh,
We are going to be missing both of you.
Oh, definitely, we'll be missing. You are the one who guided us in the spiritual arena, and then we gained some spiritual wealth. And so we can never forget that. Obviously, we will continue the process, and still we will be signing in and on Zoom classes wherever possible. And of course, physically, it's if not easy. So we will miss every part of what you have done, what you have established as an institution which is thriving and which will have a great future. And obviously, you have contributed to the Chinmaya mission, which is indescribable to me. So you have done superb job. That's what my feeling about it. And my wife feels the same thing. So obviously, time has come. We have to make a move for a variety of reasons. Like you are with your children here, and we have none of our children here. So obviously, only option is we have to move to them. They cannot move to us. So that is the practical aspect.
So, yeah. Gita, I think Gita or somebody told me that. When are you moving?
We don't have a definite date. I think toward the end of the month, most likely. So just recently only we closed the deal on the purchase of a house.
I see.
And we have to do some work on that. And plus we are also doing away a lot of things we have accumulated over a period of time. So put on some estate sale that we are going through. That's the reason we couldn't make it to this Jnana Yagna.
I see.
So we are still dealing with disposing a lot of things, but majority of them were disposed at no cost, free. All kinds of things happen, So you have to abandon and let go. Tyaga.
Yeah.
Let go all that you accumulated over a period of time. And so at least this spiritual knowledge helps us to how to deal with life and then lead the rest of life, a kind of sannyas ashramam I'm leading into in that sense. So that's the way progress happened.
Yeah, good. Yeah, in a way it's good. I get you're going to Florida. The weather will be even better than here. So the winter won't be so as cold. So and also you'll be close to your son. And so actually, Miami, right?
Yes.
So you will be close to Jyotirmayandaji. So you might want to.
Yeah, close, not too, of course, several miles. I don't know how far is the distance, but my location will be Pembroke Pines. We have a geographic aspect.
Close
Pembroke
to
Pines.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale
Fort
is
Lauderdale,
another
I
close
see.
city,
Okay.
and Hollywood, another one.
Okay.
So those are the nearby cities.
Okay. Well, only thing I can say is we are going to miss you. And anytime you want to come into Atlanta for any reason, give us the pleasure of hosting you in our house. You can come and stay in our spare room.
I appreciate that offer.
Very nice.
So,
And if you want to come, if you are free this Sunday, if you want to come Sunday, you are welcome to come. We can
Niketan?
meet.
Niketan?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What time?
Sunday between 10 and 12 will be there. But if you want to sit and talk for a little while, if you want to come around 11:30, you can do it. Or if you want to attend my class on chapter 15 Bhagavad Gita from 10:30 to 11:45, and then we can sit down and have a little lunch and talk.
Okay. So we will, I think, this Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we will see that.
Okay. Namaskar, Mandi. Hari Om.
Okay, Hari Om.
Okay. Hari Om.